So this is the first run where nobody can jibe onto port, is what we've got. So people are winging way out to the right side as you're looking downwind.
Ched is standing up.
Ched is standing up looking around because that's Ched. John has been passed back into the 2. Currently Michael's in the 4. John's jibing out. Can he get a... Ched will let him across. Now John's jibing back to take out Richard. Starboard, port starboard, done. Ched needs to come back and control Michael. Why is Michael following? Michael's in the 4. He needs to go fast and get out of the 4. This whole little foul up allowed Michael to get out of the 4. Ched's standing up, sitting in the back of his boat, going slow, hoping to hook Michael to windward and then just take him out. There he goes. I'll let the commentary from the sailors take over. It really is a crime that team racing isn't in the Olympics. It's like everybody complains about how sailing's not spectator friendly, and this is so spectator friendly. John's in the big one, holding up, waiting up, slowing up the race. Ched still controls Michael here, but Richard could come in and create a situation and squeeze Ched out. Michael tried to jibe, could not get to starboard, and even if he did, Ched would have been wedged in there. That would have been green flagged. Ched jibes to starboard. Michael has room and opportunity to get away. Michael jibes to starboard with Ched. Ched now is holding Michael out. Still a little dicey fight for the 4 here. Meanwhile, Richard's going fast to the mark, taking over the 1, trying to beat John, who's holding up here over in the corner. This is all the makings of an interesting leeward mark rounding on the approach. Ched is jibed back to port. Richard's approaching on starboard. Ched has to jibe to starboard. Instantaneously overlap. Richard has all the rights in the world. Takes Ched out. Ched's now in the 4. Ched's only out here is to tack. Meanwhile, over here, John's holding up. He sees what's going on to his teammate. His teammate's getting hosed. It's totally a 2-on-1 over on this side. John's just hoping the mark gets here soon enough that he can reassert his dominance and make up for the prior race at the leeward mark.
Too much.
So here we have John leading everybody into the leeward mark. Richard and Mike and Richard are in the 2-3. Ched's in the 4. So it's a 1-4 versus a 2-3. John's got a great approach. He's really holding up. If I were John, I'd have my main totally cranked right now, though. I don't know if I'd be sitting out there with it like that. Although he's pretty much effectively, he's effectively stopped. He's holding everybody out. Ched just needs to go fast around right now. Ched just needs to go very fast around. Oh!
I think he jibed a little late.
Oh no! And the 1 gets surrendered. And I totally lost the picture there because I was too busy watching with my eyes and not the camera. One of these days, this is why I'm not paid for this stuff. Ched remains in the 4. That did not work. It almost worked. John still has rights and still can close the door at the mark. Michael's chosen to wrap around. Richard's waiting up just out of the picture. Ched's going to tack out and try to slip out of the 4, maybe. Or maybe Ched has a lane, actually. No, maybe Ched's just driving up and owning the lane, but I don't know if that's the way I would approach it.
I think 10:56 was left a little long at the leeward mark.
I think he was. I don't think he came out with an.
If you aren't under air.
Yeah, you need to have a lot of speed out of there, and just you need to be bow out effectively, or just bow even. Ched's now bow out, and Ched's, and the nice thing is Ched right now that he's finally taken this advantage, will be able to come back on port. Actually, no, he's on the starboard right now, but he can almost cross because John did a decent job holding his guys out. Everybody's approaching on starboard. John, his teammate's going to let Ched across.
think Ched could tap.
Ched might be it. Can Ched step up? Can Ched step up to Richard's
twice.
line? Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Here we go. Ched's going for it. Can he get there? He's across. Yes. So now it's time for Ched to hammer on Richard. That was a bit of a slow execution. Ched's lost his lane here. But he can keep Richard from tacking. Can John get if John can get out of here, then oh jeez, this is ugly. Double tack by John. He couldn't get there. I would totally jibe out if I were John. John jibe. John jibe. Jibe. Nope. Bad place to be. Bad place to be. Richard jibes out. And here we go on the approach. Let's see who comes in. Nobody's finished yet. And it's a 1-2 for Mike and Richard.